Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to the YouTube channel of PRATHAM Test Prep. Myself Juhi Sharma, and here we are with yet another current affairs session which covers the current affairs from the 10th of June to the 19th of June. Now we know that your exams are going on, the entrances are going on now. We have had IP, we have had the entrances of IP, BBA, BJMC. For that, current affairs were, of course, important. So there was a gap in between where we didn't had the current affairs sessions as regularly and as often as we used to have it. Of course, all the credit goes to your classes, the entrances, and the entrance prep for that, right? So without wasting too much of time now, since we know that there was a lot of gap between the current affairs session, so today we'll be covering the current affairs from the 10th of June to the 19th of June. So for all the days that we have missed, we will be covering the current affairs sessions in two parts actually, right? So 10th to 19th, we'll be covering today. And trust me, we'll cover these super important news. 10th to 19th, we'll be covering today. And post 20th, right? All the important happenings around the world which had happened post 20th, that will be covered in the next YouTube session, right? So how is everybody doing? How is everyone, guys? I hope you all are doing well. You all are getting yourself up for the entrances. And if you are the full year student or if you're new over here, if you are just new to Pratham Test Prep, then hi, my name is Juhi. You can just take out some time, subscribe the channel, hit that like button if you like this video. And yes, let's quickly get into all the important current affairs from the 10th to the 19th of June. Now, there's this one common question which is there in the students' minds that, ma'am, let's say our exam is on the 3rd of July, right? So are current affairs of June important for this July paper? The answer is yes. You should be preparing yourself for the current affairs of the recent month, right? And you can prepare themselves from Pratham's daily snapshots, or if not snapshots, then these YouTube sessions will help you for that. Now, let's quickly see the very first news of the day we have. World Day Against Child Labor. Now, this is a news from Important Days. Yes, this is a news from Important Days. World Day Against Child Labor. Now, what is World Day Against Child Labor? First of all, you should know that when is this particular day observed? So it is observed on the 12th of June. Yes, on 12th of June, World Day Against Child Labor is observed. Now, what do you mean by that? You have the word child labor also here, against child labor. So that means this day is dedicated to create what? To create awareness amongst us, to create awareness related to child labor or related to human trafficking, right? So this particular day is observed, or the main aim for observing this day is to create awareness about the menace of child labor and human trafficking. Okay, so this is day 12th of June. Now, the question may come that what is the theme for World Day Against Child Labor? So the theme for the year 2022 was Universal Social Protection to End Child Labor. Yes, if you don't know anything about important days, just know one thing, that you need to know the date and theme. This is something which I always tell you, date, day and theme. These are the two things that you need to know whenever you are doing any important day. Okay. Now, child labor is a serious problem, and even we see that children as young as 5 years in age are engaged in child labor, not just only in India, but across the world. Okay. Now, this is according to United Nations that more than 160 million children are engaged in child labor across the world. Okay. Now you need to know that when was the first day, the first World Day Against Child Labor was observed? It was observed in 2002. Yes, 2002 was the first time where we officially adopted the International Labour Organization, which is often known as ILO. It officially adopted 12th of June as the World Day Against Child Labor. What is ILO? ILO is the International Labour Organization, and it is actually, you can say, a organization and agency of the United Nations body only, which is related to work. So everything which is related to the world of work, right? ILO looks after that. So two important takeaways from there. Day and date is 12th of June. And second thing is, what is the theme? The theme is universal social protection to end child labor. Now, during this time period, from the 10th of June to the 19th of June, we have come across another very important day, that is World Blood Donor Day. Yes, World Blood Donor Day is observed on the 14th of June. World Blood Donor Day observed on the 14th of June. Now, why Blood Donor Day is observed? Of course, as the day's name is to create attention or to draw attention towards the importance of blood donation. Yes, blood donation should be done, right? If somebody is healthy, of course, they should donate blood, right? Now, importance of donating blood, that why blood donation is important. This particular day, World Blood Donor Day, is observed on the 14th of June, okay? Now, this day, it draws attention towards what? Importance of donating blood. And when was the first time this particular day was started? So this particular day was started in the year 2004. Yes, in the year 2004, this particular day was officially started as the Blood Donation Day. Okay. Now, who started that? Since it is related to health, so the organization's name is World Health Organization. Yes, WHO, the World Health Organization, it first initiated the World Blood Donor Day in the year 2004. And this particular day draws the attention on importance of donating blood, why blood donating is important. And the theme for the year 2022 is donating blood is an act of solidarity, join the effort and save lives. It's a very good theme of the year 2022, that donating blood is an act of solidarity, join the effort and save lives, because we never know that the blood which we have donated can save the lives of how many people, right? So of course, donating blood, World Blood Donor Day observed on 14th of June, very, very important. And this actually focused on what? Urgency to increase the number of donors. Right now, if I have to tell you about the number of people who donate blood, and even if you guys look around you, even if you guys just give it a thought for a moment, that how many people do you know who donate blood? The number is very, very less. And right now, it is the urgent need, or it is the earnest desire to do what? To increase the number of donors, number of blood donors, so that everybody can come together, join the efforts and save lives. Okay. Now, Mexico will host this World Blood Donor Day. So there's this one country, right? This is global event, and Mexico will host this particular day through its National Blood Center, and the global event will be held in the city. Right? So that was about the World Blood Donor Day. Now, moving on to the next important news, we have India launched its first COVID-19 vaccine, ANOCOVAX for animals. Yes, COVID-19 vaccine for animals have been launched, and this is India's first COVID-19 vaccine for animals, right? Now, we know that a few months back, we have heard that one country, I think Russia was a country which has launched Carnivac, which is the COVID-19 vaccine for animals. Now, India has also launched its first COVID-19 vaccine, which name is ANOCOVAX, right? Now, this has been it is a homegrown vaccine, indigenous vaccine, which has been produced by the ICAR National Research Center on Equines in Haryana. Yes, it has been developed by that. Now, you need to know the name of the vaccine. The name of the vaccine is ANOCOVAX, right? Now, again, it is the vaccine for those animals that is inactivated and according to ICAR, right? The immunity by the ANOCOVAX, it neutralizes both the Delta and the Omicron versions of or variants of COVID-19, because we know there are several variants now, right? And this has been launched by Agricultural Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. Now, you need to know two things here, that this particular vaccine is named as ANOCOVAX. It is India's first COVID-19 vaccine, and who has launched it? This has been launched by Agricultural Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. Okay. Now, next news is Indian Railways launched its first private train service under Bharat Gaurav scheme. Now, we know that this Bharat Gaurav scheme was in news all over. This particular scheme, there were trains running under this particular scheme, and this scheme was all over. Now, Indian Railways has even launched the first private train service under this Bharat Gaurav scheme. Now, this has been informed, or this has been announced by whom? This has been announced by the Ministry of Tourism. Okay. Now, between which two stations, what is the route of this first ever Bharat Gaurav train service? The private train service, it will run from Coimbatore North to Srini. It will run from Coimbatore to the Srini route, and this will run under the Bharat Gaurav scheme. Now, this particular train, as the main agenda of this Bharat Gaurav scheme was that they will cover maximum number of destinations, and in fact, this train, it will also cover several historical destinations during the route as well, from Coimbatore to Srini, right, which is Sainagar. So this will actually cover a lot of historical destinations as well, wherein it will give an insight to the cultural heritage of the country as well, right? So why this news is important? Because it is the first private train to run under a government scheme, Bharat Gaurav scheme. Okay. Now, what is the objective of this? Basically, the objective is to show India's rich culture, magnificent historical places to the people of India and to the world through Bharat Gaurav trains. Now, as I've told you earlier, that Bharat Gaurav scheme was in news, and in fact, I think the last session that we've had, in that session also there was a news about Bharat Gaurav scheme, in which there was this one station with, I think it was in Nepal, where the train would have a stoppage because that particular station is related to Lodra, right? So again, these trains are running, right? These trains are being run to do what? To showcase the rich culture of India, to showcase the historical places to India, and of course to the rest of the world. Okay. Now, there are some very good features in this Bharat Gaurav scheme as well. In this private train service under the Bharat Gaurav scheme, there will be a doctor to attend any emergencies, right? So there will always be a doctor. Even the private securities will be arranged. Along with, there will be RPF, that is the Railway Police Force, but there will be the private securities also to protect the train from any harm, since it's a private train and everything. So to protect the train, there will be private securities, there will be doctor on board as well. And this particular train, Indian Railways has launched the operation of this Bharat Gaurav train in the month of November 2021 itself. And now they have launched this first private train service, right, which will cover the distance from Coimbatore to Sainagar, Srini. Now, moving on to the next news, we have Mumbai Airport started India's first hybrid power project. Now, what is this hybrid power project? Hybrid power project is that now Mumbai Airport, which is the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport, right? This will work on wind energy as well, right? They will utilize the wind energy at the airport, right? So that is the reason why they have said that it is India's first airport which will run on a hybrid power project. There will be hybrid, as in there will be the normal, which is which is being used right now. That will also be there. But apart from that, utilization of wind energy will also be there. Now, if you remember, Mumbai was that one country in South Asia which has actually laid out its plan for net zero carbon emission. Mumbai has become the first city, right, in South Asia. I think this was in news a few days back as well, to lay out its net zero carbon emission for the year 20 till the year 2050. It will be zero carbon emission. Now, they have started working towards this, as in now they've announced to run Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport on a dual power project mode, in a hybrid mode, wherein they will actually be using wind energy. Apart from electricity, of course, they'll be actually be utilizing wind energy at the airport to generate power, right? And with this, Mumbai has become the first city in India to establish what? To establish a one of its kind hybrid power project at its airport. Okay. Now, since we're talking about wind energy, so solar and wind energy, of course, so this hybrid project will be launched in partnership with the Windstream Energy Technologies India Private Limited. Okay. Now, as I have told you that it is a step closer to Mumbai's journey of being net zero carbon emission, right? And this will be a fully integrated hybrid model. Wind energy here, solar energy here. It is a renewable source of energy, right? They will be merged to produce electricity actually. So it is a hybrid model which will be used. And who's the MD of Windstream Energy Technologies? It is Venkat Kumar Tangrila, right? He's the MD of Windstream Energy Technologies. Now, moving on to the next news, we have DCGI's panel approved India's first indigenously developed vaccine, HPV, against cervical cancer. Yes, a very, very effective, vaccine, indigenously made vaccine has been launched for cervical cancer. It will be against the cervical cancer, and the name of the vaccine is QHVP. Now, what is the full form of DCGI? DCGI stands for the Drug Controller General of India. Okay, DCGI, it stands for the Drugs Controller General of India, and there was this committee which has recommended SII's, which is Serum Institute of India's indigenously developed quadrivalent human papillomavirus vaccine, right? That is the full form of QHVP. That is quadrivalent human papillomavirus vaccine for cervical cancer patient, and it can be used on patients from 9 years to 26 years of age, right? Now, you need to know that who is actually the chief or the head of Drugs Controller General of India, that is DCGI. So the chief or head of DCGI is Venugopal Girdhari Lal Somani. Yes, Venugopal Girdhari Lal Somani is the head or chief of DCGI. Okay. Now, there are a lot of things that this can be given to all age groups, right, in all doses, and it is very, very effective against the baseline vaccine which was given earlier. But again, for you, two things are important. That is, what is the name of the vaccine? It is QHPV, which is quadrivalent human papilloma virus vaccine. For what reason? For cervical cancer. Don't get confused. We use for cervical cancer. And secondly, recommended. Who developed this particular vaccine? It was developed by Serum Institute of India, right? Now, moving further, we have the next news, which is India's first ever Balika Panchayat started in Gujarat to promote participation of girls in politics. Yes, this is the first ever girl panchayat started in the state of Gujarat. Now, this is a common joke. I think it is an inside joke between the kids as well, that ma'am, whenever any good thing happens or whenever it is a good thing or any first in India, most probably the answer will be Gujarat, right, for obvious reasons. But there are multiple instances where we can say that no, this is not the case. But yes, there are several reasons why there's an inside joke. It is an inside joke for all the kids, right? So again, India's first ever Balika Panchayat, which has been started in Gujarat to promote the participation of girls in politics. Now, specifically, this has been started Gujarat, maybe in the Kutch district. It has been starting in the Kutch district of Gujarat, in several villages of the Kutch district, wherein the girls, they are promoted, right? The girls are, active participation of girls are there in politics. And it is a very, if you say this particular Balika Panchayat, India's first ever Balika Panchayat, it is a very, very unique initiative of the Department of Women and Child Development and the Gujarat government. Yes, Women and Child Development Welfare Department and the Gujarat government, they have come together, they have collaborated for this Balika Panchayat in Gujarat. And this was done under which campaign? This was done under Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao campaign. Now, again, this is one campaign which was all over. A lot of NGOs, they were supporting this Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao campaign, right? So, there's another initiative under this campaign, and that is India's first ever Balika Panchayat that is started in Gujarat, specifically the Kutch district of it, right? Now you need to know few names. The names of the villages were Kunaria, Maska, Motagua, Watsa villages of Kutch district, and Inoni, what they've managed is they've managed by the people in 11 to 21 age group, women participation, there will be there, girls participation will be there. It will promote the social, political development of girls and their active participation in the politics as well. Okay. Now, this has been started in Gujarat as of now, but what the Women and Child Welfare Development Department is saying that they will, if it will be a success, they will even promote it. They will even take this to the entire nation. Now, who's the Chief Minister of Gujarat? The Chief Minister of Gujarat is Bhupendra Patel, and Governor of Gujarat is Acharya Devbrat. So you need to know these two things. Now, moving further, we have the next news, that is Himachal Pradesh became the first state to approve a policy for drones. Now, this is another topic which is making news quite a lot. The civil aviation industry is making quite a lot of news for this, and drones are one thing which are actually are in news right now. The Himachal Pradesh became the first state which they have actually approved, or they've actually agreed to the drone policy, right? I think in the last session, we have covered a news about drone policy, right? So Himachal Pradesh it has become the first state actually in India. The government, Himachal Pradesh government, has approved the policy for drones, that drones can be used, right? Or similar technology like drones can be used for different public services in the state of Himachal Pradesh, right? Now, this Himachal Pradesh drone policy, it was approved by the Chief Minister Jairam Thakur, and this policy, it was actually built on Garud. Now, what is Garud? Garud is governance and reforms using drone. That is a full form of Garud. And this is actually the policy that actually envisions a holistic drone ecosystem, and that will build upon the foundation of Garud, which is governance and reforms using drones. Okay. Now, by acknowledging or by approving this drone policy, Himachal Pradesh has become the first state in the country to approve or formally acknowledge the public use of drones. Because if you know, usage of drones is not taken we can say that there are several restrictions in the usage of drone, several permissions and all are required for drone usage, but now Himachal Pradesh may public use of drones can be done. Now, who's the governor of Himachal Pradesh? It is Rajendra Vishwanath Arlekar. Now, moving further to the next news, we have UNGA adopted resolution on multilingualism, mentions Hindi language for the first time. Now, this is a very important news that UNGA, which is known as the United Nations General Assembly, right? It has actually mentioned, or it has actually adopted India's sponsored resolution of multilingualism. Yes, that was a resolution which was sponsored by India that was on multilingualism, that not only in the communications and messages will be passed on, or the communications will be done in the official languages, but it will be done in the non-official languages too. Now, we know that there are, if I have to tell you about United Nations, there are 6 official languages of United Nations, right? We have English, we have Spanish, we have Chinese, right? We have French, Arabic. All these are there are 6 official languages of the United Nations. But if I have to tell you about the working languages, there are only 2 working languages of the UN, that is English and French. Now, India has sponsored a resolution on multilingualism, as in adding more and more languages to the communication, to the messages. And these things will not only be done, messages and communications will not only be done in the official languages as well as the non-official languages too. And in that, Hindi was one of the non-official language. And also in this particular resolution, there were another 2 languages, regional languages of India, that was Bangla and Urdu. Bangla and Urdu were also mentioned for the very first time. Okay. Now, there was this project which was launched in the year 2019. That was Hindi at the rate UN project. Yes, Hindi at the rate UN project. Now, this is supremely important. Why? Because if you see the entrances, if you see, if I have to tell you about IP only for that matter, and if you see that they're not asking direct static questions, right? They are not asking that who was Alauddin Khilji, or what religion did Ashoka adopted. They're not asking such type of questions. What they're asking topics. They're asking the miscellaneous questions related to the current news. Now, here we are talking about the UNGA adopted resolution on multilingualism, which mentioned Hindi language for the first time. Now, in this particular news, we came across a particular project of India, that was Hindi at the rate UN project, that was launched in the year 2018. Now, you need to know about this particular project, and that's why I marked it that this is important, because this was launched long time back. It is a miscellaneous information related to this current news. So I hope you get an understanding of how the trend is this year, how the trend is of entrances this year, specifically the general awareness in the current affairs section. They're not directly asking very direct questions. They're asking questions on the miscellaneous information related to the current news, right? Now, what was this project about? This project was about awareness, global, to spread awareness. Hindi languages should be used in the United Nations for public outreach, global issues among the millions of Hindi speaking population, so that the Hindi speaking nations, Hindi speaking population should also know, should also be, addressing what, should also be knowing, or should also be, aware of all these things which are happening. Now, as I've already told you that for United Nations, there are 6 official languages of the UN, that is Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, Spanish. But if I have to tell you about the working languages, there are only English and French of the United Nations Secretariat. Now, moving further to the next news, we have Bharti Airtel launched India's first 20-screen multiplex in Megaverse. Yes, Bharti Airtel, right, whose headquarters are in Gurugram and whose MD and CEO is Gopal Vittal. Now, they have launched an extension of Airtel Extreme Premium, right? Now, the Extreme Multiplex is what? It is an extension of Airtel's Extreme Premium offering, right? Recently, they have crossed 2 million subscriber milestone. They were only within the 100 days of launch. About this Airtel milestone. So then what, they have actually launched this first multiplex on Metaverse, on Partnite Metaverse platform. And according to the company filing, right, according to what the company says, the Extreme Multiplex will be a 20-screen platform with, content portfolios from leading OTT partners available on the application, of course, available on the app itself. So there will be 20 for in India, first 20-screen multiplex in Metaverse. Now, it will actually be broadcasting original shows, right? OTT originals, initial minutes of a film, so that to give of first episodes, just to give viewers an idea how it works, or how actually the content is, right? Even if so, as we know that most of the OTT platforms, even if I have to tell you about Disney Plus Hotstar, or if I tell you about Voot, or if I tell you about Z, if I tell you about Amazon Prime, what they do is they do give a free first episode, they give for free, or they give free like the first few minutes of any movie or any web series, right? They give it for free, and later on, for the complete access, they ask you to get a subscription based plan, right? So that is on the similar lines which this thing of Bharti Airtel will go, right? So that was about it. Moving on to the next news, we have Mayan Kumar given additional charge as a CEO of Prasar Bharati. Now, again, one such news on the students who are preparing for mass comm and journalism wale entrances, ki ma'am, what type of current affairs should we focus on? So as we told you that you should focus on, of course, all the current affairs are important, but what current affairs are related to your domain, right? Mass com. So for example, press freedom index ho gaya aapka, world press freedom day ho gaya, and this Prasar Bharati, because it's a public broadcaster, you should be knowing such things in terms of appointments and all. So Mayan Kumar Agrawal has been chosen, he has been given additional charge actually as the CEO of Prasar Bharati. Now he is a Director General of Doordarshan, but apart from being the Director General of Doordarshan, now he'll be focusing on the he's been given the additional charge of as a CEO of Prasar Bharati as well, right? So the Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur, he gave his approval for the same, and he has appointed Mayan Kumar Agrawal as the CEO of Prasar Bharati. Now, what is Prasar Bharati? I told you what is Prasar Bharati, and it manages Doordarshan, All India Radio, and there are all other channels also which are managed by it, right? So it is again a broadcasting digital media, right? And yes, that was about the Prasar Bharati. CEO of Prasar Bharati appointed. Mayan Kumar has been appointed for the same. And where the headquarters of it are in New Delhi. Moving on to the next news, we have A.R. Rahman appointed as the ambassador of IndoUK cultural platform. Yes, again, 75 years of Indian independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, officially it was launched by Britain's Deputy High Commissioner to India, and whose name was Jan Thompson, right? And Director India of British Council, Barbara Wickham. Now, A.R. Rahman has been appointed for the ambassador of the same, of the Season of the Culture, which marks the 75th anniversary of Indian independence, right? So Season of the Culture is what? It is actually to strengthen the relationships between India and UK. It is India and UK collaboration on the areas of art, English, education, and for that, A.R. Rahman has been appointed as the ambassador. A lot of artists will showcase their talent, and these artists will come from all over India, Britain, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, right? And they will showcase their talent through theatre, dance, visual arts, literature, music, architecture, design, fashion, tech art, and new media art. So, India-UK cultural platform, and the name of this is the Season of Culture. And who has been appointed as a brand ambassador? It is A.R. Rahman. Moving further to the next news, we have Tamil Nadu became the largest state in outstanding microfinance loans. Now, earlier it was Bihar, but now Tamil Nadu has replaced Bihar and West Bengal and has become the largest state in terms of outstanding portfolio of microfinance. And this particular report, it is a quarterly report, of course, for Q4 of financial year 2022, and it was published by the Microfinance Institution Network, which is known as MFIN, right? Now, again, Tamil Nadu is at the top. It is followed by Bihar. So rank 1 is of Tamil Nadu, rank 2 of Bihar, and rank 3 of West Bengal. And if you have to tell you about more ranks, then Karnataka is at rank 4, UP at 5 in this particular report, and Maharashtra at 6. Right? So the largest state in outstanding microfinance loan is Tamil Nadu now. Moving on to the next news, we have Hamad International Airport named as the world best airport for the year 2022. Yes, Qatar's Hamad Airport has been named as the world best airport. Now it is at rank 1. Secondly, it is Tokyo International Airport, which is known as Haneda. And thirdly, we have Singapore Changi Airport. At rank 4, we have Narita International Airport of Japan, and at 5, we have the Incheon International Airport of South Korea. So these are the top 5 best airports in the world, and this particular announcement was done by Skytrax, which is actually known for its airport rankings, right? World airport rankings. So Skytrax World Airport Award, they were held at Paris. They were held in France in the Passenger Terminal Expo, which was held in France, Paris. And there these awards were given. Now, if I have to tell you about, so these were the world records, and of course, we don't have any Indian airport in that. But if I have to tell you about the finest regional airports in India and in South Asia for that matter, it is Kempegowda International Airport, which is in Bangalore, right? And yes, so these were the important airports which were there according to the Skytrax 2022 World Airports Award. Moving on to the next news, we have India created history to qualify FIFA Nations Cup. Yes, India has qualified the FIFA Nations Cup for the year 2022, and this final time or this sport, it will going to be set in Copenhagen, Denmark, and this will happen in July 2022. India defeated whom? India defeated Korean Republic, it defeated Malaysia, and now India has qualified for the FIFA Nations Cup. Right now, the journey for Indian e-football team has kicked off in January 2021. Right, it was the AIFF signed the participation agreement with FIFA for FIFA E-Nation Series 2021, and yes, 60 countries have participated, and India was placed in the Middle East and Africa zone, and in that particular zone, we have finished as on third rank, right? So yes, India has created history to qualify the FIFA Nations Cup for the year 2022. Moving on, we have the last news for the day. Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan released books titled Loktantra Ke Savar and Republican Ethic. So we know that Dharmendra Pradhan is a Union Education and Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Minister, and he has launched two books, that is Loktantra Ke Savar and the Republican Ethic. And yes, actually, there's a fourth volume of the series featuring the fourth year of presidency of Ramnath Kovind. So, of course, we know that Ramnath Kovind is the fourth on the presidency of Ramnath Kovind. So this is the fourth volume for the same, right? That how the fourth year of Ramnath Kovind as the president went, and there were two books, Loktantra Ke Savar and Republican Ethic, and they was released by Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. And with this, we have another news, that is Prime Minister released Ram Bahadur Rai book, Bharatiya Samvidhan Ankahi Kahani. Yes, so there was a book which was written by Ram Bahadur Rai. So this is an important book and author of a question, that Bharatiya Samvidhan Ankahi Kahani is written by whom? It is written by Ram Bahadur Rai, right? And this book has been released by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and basically what was India's future, consciousness of the past remains strong, the forgotten thoughts to ensure that in the India of the future, the consciousness of the past remains should be strong. So these were actually the thing, that it was actually Ram Bahadur Rai's lifelong quest for searching for the new ideas or the new desires, so that they want to bring something new for the society before the society. So this is all the book is all about. It is Bharatiya Samvidhan Ankahi Kahani, which was written by Ram Bahadur. And with this, we have covered all the important news for from the 10th of June to the 13th of June. Thank you so much, guys, for staying tuned. It was a long session, but again, we should know that we have covered the current affairs of at least 10 days, almost 10 days. So thank you so much for staying tuned. We shall be meeting super soon in the next session. Till then, take care. Goodbye. And yes, all the very best for your entrances. Thank you so much. Bye.